All right, welcome back, everybody. Well, this is about 2 weeks now since we sadly learned about Ozzy Osbourne's passing. I've been on vacation, so this is kind of my first opportunity back to be able to pay tribute in music form to Ozzy. And so we're going to tackle Paranoid by Black Sabbath. Great vocal performance from Ozzy, and obviously the killer guitar from Tony Iommi. I'm going to walk through sort of what he's doing here, how he's playing, what he's playing on the verses and throughout the song. Of course, going to break down the solo. And if you ever wonder what's going on with that effect that's happening on the guitar solo, I got you covered on this one. Okay, we'll talk about that. So if this is the kind of thing that you like and you haven't done so yet, please jump down, click subscribe, ring the bell. Bell will tell you when I drop new content. I do that every single week. All my videos have chapters in them, so you can jump right to the part of the lesson that you want to see and bypass what you don't. And if you're looking for other ways to support the channel, I appreciate that. There's thanks, just like throwing a tip in the tip jar. Or even better, you can join my Patreon page where I've got chord charts and tabs for all the songs I do on YouTube, just like this one. Links in the description, so check it out. All right, so Paranoid. So this is early days Black Sabbath. I'm not a Black Sabbath expert at all, but these early songs I know pretty well. And they're just killer, right? So got my best, closest approximation to a Tony Iommi guitar. This is a 68 SG special. I'm pretty sure he had P90 SG when he was playing in those early days. So the kind of secret to their sound, like they're a three-piece band with the instruments, right? So they got to sound big. So a lot of what happens is he will do two takes on his guitar on like a lot of the rhythm guitar stuff, pan left and right, so it just sounds huge. But he's very good at, like, it almost sounds like it's one guitar, or one guitar take, but it's just part of that big sound. So what I've got going on to approximate that is I'm running through my harmonist, my PS6, which splits the signal out. And it's running in stereo out to, got 2 amps. All this is in my, all the signal chain stuff is in the description below if you're interested in that detail of what I've got going on. And I've got the sort of distortion on the amps going on, and so I've got so that's the sound that I got going on. And yeah, to sort of approximate the left-right, I've got the harmonist on detune. And anyway, we're going to go with that today. All right, so step 1, we're in standard tuning. Step 2, I guess, is when he's playing his bar chords on these songs, a lot of time, you think, you know, most of the time people would play a bar chord like an E down here. I mean a power chord. I say bar chord. I mean a power chord. But he's not. He's playing so many of these with on the 6th and 5th string just to get that much fatter sound. So a lot of these bar chords that we're gonna, or power chords, I don't know why I keep saying bar chords. A lot of these power chords we're gonna play are 6th string and 5th string power chords, okay? So starting with our opening riff. So this opening riff is right here on 12. It's his guitar solo, or I mean his guitar all alone, and here's the riff. Great. it just announces to you, rock is coming. So here you go. So it's just barred right here on the 12th fret. You're holding down the 6th string. You'll see the chart over my shoulder, and you're hammering on. You're just hammering on your 5th string, 2 frets up. And then the second part of the riff. And that's the end. You just hear the drums kick in, right? Right, so that's the opening riff there. And you don't hear that any other place in the song. That's it. So now we're sort of into the verse forms. And I was writing this down. I'm like, there's kind of only verse. I don't know what the Is there a chorus? Is there a chorus on this song? I don't know. I don't think there is. But again, we're going to stick with our 12th fret power chord up here. And the secret, I don't know if it's a secret, but like if you're trying to get his tone on this, what I found that he's doing is he's palm muting a little bit. Not a full palm mute where it's not a full palm mute. You're still hearing the tone of the string a little bit, so you got to back off a little bit of that palm mute, but this is what you're going for. Right? Not choking it off. You still want to hear the tone of the note. So we're just going to go back and forth from E to D. Jump over to G, back to D, and back to E. And then the last part is this little upstroke. I think it's an upstroke. You're just going to catch that on the 12th fret, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string, right? Right? I don't know where he's doing an upstroke versus a downstroke, but that's how I'm doing it. You want to get those punches, right? That punch when you get to that G. Then we're going to do a little interlude break here, which is just an E, C, D, E. Repeat, do the same thing again, and runs through another verse. But you see what I mean? Like, is there a chorus? I don't think so. I think there's just verses. Okay, so runs through that all the way again. There's one sort of bridge section where it deviates after that verse. Back to a D. Right? So that's, as far as rhythm guitar goes, like that is it. That's the whole song all the way through. Even when we get to the guitar solo, that's what's happening under the guitar solo. So there is a rhythm guitar take that's doing that pattern, that verse pattern, underneath the solo. Now let's talk about this solo. This is greatness, as you know. So this is very much rooted in E minor pentatonic, and we're going to start in a position that's down here. It violates the E minor pentatonic a little bit sometimes, but just for the most part, you're in that space. We're going to start down here in this position around this sort of E, that sort of E position, and we're going to play around on that, and we're going to slide up, and the rest of the solo is going to be all up here in the 12th fret position for everything that's going to happen. Now, I'm going to teach the solo with this sound. You know, when you listen to the record, you're like on one side, it's got sort of a normal rock guitar sound that you can hear the note. And on the other side, you've got this other crazy, like distorted speaker, like what is going on? And it's the same take, like it's what it, anyway, I'll talk about that later. So let me teach the solo on the clean way so you can actually hear the note. And then we'll talk about what that effect is and how you can get that if you want to actually go down that rabbit hole and have that sound. So, all right, so the solo is going to open up. Well, let me just play the part here. Here we go. That's the first phrase. It starts with that, you're pre-bent up over that E note here. You know, you start it up here. So it's a pre-bend all the way up to this G note. Okay, the next phrase comes in on the next bar. All right, so let's weave those two together. That's that whole first section, which is all down here in this section. And from there, we're going to slide up to our 12th fret E minor pentatonic position. So that next phrase, let me go into it here. So that's the next half of the phrase. Kind of a lot going on there. But if I were to break it down a little bit, when you're coming up here, now we're going right into our sort of pentatonic rock bend. Right, there's that. And he has that hammer on. There's a lot of that pattern actually in what he's playing in this solo, and a lot of his solos in this era where he gets that part and he just... he does that, he just finds that position in there. Right, so a lot of the riffs are in there, but let's pick this one up again here. Well, I screwed that one up a little bit, but the positioning, when you get this up here. Does that crazy bend. And then here's the last part. Woo! Didn't mean to get that harmonic. There you go. It's hard to sort of break it apart. You just want, let me just do all of it. Maybe I'll do all of it at maybe 3/4 speed. Let's see how we can do here. Well, I did one mistake in there, I think, but that's the real estate that he covers, and that's the primary riffs that are on there. Like, this is all tabbed out, by the way, for my Patreon members, so you can get all the exact tabs, note for note in there, and the links in the description below. And so let's talk about, so that's the notes of what's happening, okay? So what's this effect that's going on that's happening? Because clearly there's something that sounds like that guitar over here, and then over here on the other side, on the other speaker, there's this crazy, weird, staticky sound of what's going on. So I don't know if back in the day they called it this, but what they're calling it now, in terms of like the effects that are available now, is it's called a ring modulator. And it's something that you can use with guitars, you can use with synthesizers. It's used a lot with keyboards, apparently. And what I'm going to be using here is the Red Panda Radius, which is a little more upscale of what they're available. I'll have a couple different options in the description below of what you can check out at Sweetwater. But you can do some research on YouTube and listen to them. But yeah, there's crazy stuff. And so I was playing around with this thing, and well, I'll show the settings of what I have on here. It's basically, I took pretty much every setting, and what seemed to sound the closest was when I turned everything almost all the way up, basically, just to make it crazy sounding. And so I'm going to kick this on. So what's going to happen here, the way I've got this, is I've got, like I said, I'm running stereo out. So my Fender Super Champ has this signal going to it, and my Marshall has the cleaner. This is not in the signal chain that's running to the Marshall. Okay, so I'm trying to emulate that guitar on one side and the effect on the other, but so it sounds something like this. That was pretty cool, right? You get the clean sound and the affected sound. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let me turn the Marshall off so you can just hear this on its own. It's kind of kooky. Here you go. It kind of sounds awful, actually, but that's sort of what's going on with this sound, you know. So without it, with it, but anyway, cool, right? Let me flip that back on. Anyway, yeah, so Ring Modulator, that's the thing you want to look for if you want to get that. So they have all these links in the description below. You can see it. A couple different options at Sweetwater, but have fun with that. It's a Ring Modulator. Now, if you're not running stereo, you don't have to run stereo. You can still run into this and it'll do a mixed signal to your amp. It might not sound as good, but it'll sound awesome. Even if you don't have a Ring Modulator, you just want to dial up your rock sound, it's going to sound killer too. Because they never had it live. They never did any of that live. It was just their rock guitar, as you know. That's the ending. Everything else is the same throughout the song. So that, kids, was Paranoid by Black Sabbath, and I hope you learned something new today. So if this is the kind of thing that you like and you haven't done so yet, please jump down, click subscribe, ring the bell. Bell will let you know when I drop new content. I do that every single week. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if there's another song you want to hear, let me know that in the comments. And hey, until next week, take care, everybody.